Is it over?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the New American Dream radio show, streaming live on Revolution Radio and our YouTube channel. We have a new American dream, not of new homes and posters and microwaves, but of becoming the type of country we always thought we were. A country where people help each other, people talk to each other, and they actually listen to each other. People work together to do things they couldn't do by themselves. And people even love each other. That's our new American dream. Tonight we have a poetry spectacular, and we have several poets who will be introducing themselves to you momentarily, and then we'll start hearing from them with some of their work or something else that they have brought us. So this should be a great show. The previous poetry spectaculars have been a lot of fun, and I anticipate this one being that way as well. So without further ado, I am going to work around clockwise on my screen, starting with Duke Beaufort. Please introduce yourself, Duke.
Hi. I'm glad to be here. I am generally a limerick writer. So anyhow, I can read a few. This is and recently I was invited to a poetry reading in Massachusetts where they were the focus was on horses. So this is one that I wrote for them. It's called Nirvana All the Way Around. Their gracefulness during dressage brings us bliss like we're on a hodge. We know to repay horseplay on display with a sweet spa-heavy massage. And the idea is you give the horse the massage.
Okay.
And,
all right, I'm gonna keep it short for this first go round. Then everybody will have like 5-minute turns or whatever. But I'd like everybody to get a chance to introduce themselves before we get too far. So, Chris, let's hear from you.
Hi, my name is Chris. You can call me Christopher. Chris would be better, but I am from Florida, from Fort Lauderdale, and yeah. So recently, I wrote a poem. I wrote like poems, like 365 poems for like 365 days. So so now like I'm started like posting them on Instagram one by one, and yeah, like it's been great. Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you for inviting me, Chuck.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Did you want to share a short one now, or
A what? What did you say, Chuck?
I didn't hear.
I'm sorry. I think there's a lag.
He said, do you want to share a short poem?
I think I'll just like wait until later, like for the longer one.
Okay. All right, background. All right. Well then, Rex, why don't you tell everybody who you are? I think you're on mute.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rex. I'm here in Southern California, and always happy to see you, Chuck, and work with the New American Dream. This is a short one. I've done a lot of different kinds of writing. I've done a lot of music writing, And this was one night at a club. This is called Manny Waves Me In. I leave my girlfriend's car down the street for $5. I hate to leave the keys. Don't worry, says the suit vested attendant. Short walk up midweek Cahuenga. Heavy wood door. Small, neatly goateed man at the greet stand. You're not on here, he says, checking the mostly crossed off guest list. Fred said he called yesterday, I say. I know, Fred, he says, exasperated, shaking his head, disgusted. I hate this last minute stuff. He never called. All right, sit over there at the end of the bar. I sit pad lit by a vodka display light against the wall, neck craned to see around ceiling supports in the red rectangular room, and write.
All right. Very cool. RG, we'd like to hear who you are and see if you have a short one to start things off.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm writing you. I'm writing you. I'm coming from beautiful South Jersey today, where we had a tornado warning, but so far everything is okay here. And I have the. I'm sure I have the distinction of being the only poet in this group that knows how to pronounce John W.'s last name. So I do have a poem. If I may read a poem, I'll read this one to you.
Yes, please do.
And I'd like to. I don't know if she'll be with us tonight, but I'd like to dedicate this reading to Marissa Henderson, Rue, who put me in contact with you, Chuck. And she writes a lot of poems about the stars and the solar system and all that. So I've chosen some poems that encompass that too. Excuse me. This is called New Moon. When the moon is at its brightest, already it is waning. Darkness on one edge, the great white O, a scream of dying light. As the moon is false light reflected, we see ourselves in its crags and growing shadows. The man in the moon, the hare who with mortar and pestle pounds the elixir of eternal life. Even if we wanted, we couldn't taste his wares. Only the moon comes back from darkness, gathering itself to die again, and we, eyes skyward, look beyond it to the void. Every star a wish, every wish a heaven. Thanks.
Very nice. Yeah.
Very nice. Very
All
good.
right. Okay. Well, welcome, Sheena. I'm glad that you made it a little earlier than you thought. And
good to see everybody. Thanks for welcoming us, Chuck.
Okay. We're doing one round real quick with like the shortest poem that you have, and so it's John W.'s turn next after that, Sheena. So, figured I'd warn you. John, what you got for us?
I'm also coming from South Jersey, so if the walls start blowing away, you just tell my story, okay? I'm gonna. I also got to thank Marissa for inviting me or getting me in touch with Chuck here. So I'm gonna read. It's springtime, so I'm gonna read just a short kind of flower poem here. After Hours Flowers. Fresh cut and tightly bundled with leftover ribbon, set out by the highway in a 10-gallon bucket, half filled with hose water. $5 is scrawled across the front, padlock money box. These are after hours flowers, doghouse roses, home late with whiskey breath bouquets, forgotten anniversaries, mother-in-law troubles. I struggle in the dark to decide which bunch bears the fragrance of forgiveness. Thanks.
Very nice. Ooh, yeah. All right. We to be having a little bit of bandwidth problems, even though I have really fast internet here. So I think it may work out best for us to keep the video off, except when it's our turn. I think if we try that, that should make things work better. So I'm gonna turn mine off too. Okay, there we go. And Sheena, if you can unmute and show us, there you are. Okay. Tell us a little
Hello,
bit, and
I'm excited. It's good to be with you all. I'm here from New Bern, North Carolina, which is Eastern North Carolina. I met Chuck in South Florida when I lived there years ago. So I'm really happy to be able to stay in touch. Thank you, Chuck. So we're doing short poems.
yeah, for this first round.
I like the theme of or what I've heard so far regarding nature and the flowers. I think John W. had read that previous one, which was really nice. So I'll keep in line with that nature theme and read one of my poems entitled Galapagosian Lament. This is Galapagosian Lament. Sweet bird song of morning, sound unchanged since the launching of time, when birds at Galapagos spread their wings in melodious triumph, and no human encroached to perceive this beauty. Bird song and absolute in man's world, since the viral urban sprawl birthed contemporary destruction, disaffecting winged creatures, resilient that still sing in helpless lament. And that was Galapagosian Lament. Thank you.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, since in order to deal with this little bit of distortion that we're having, I'm going to ask everybody to mute except when you are actually presenting. So I think that will help. And hopefully I'm not the one causing it, but if I am, I'll mute myself too. I'm sorry about all these little details, but we're kind of pushing the limits of my system, I think. So all right. So thank you all for being here. I really I really appreciate having you all here. I just saw a request from yeah, I think we're sounding much better now. So Duke asked if you could read that again, Sheena, because it was a little broken up. So
I'll be happy to. Thank you so much for asking. Galapagosian Lament. Sweet bird song of morning, sound unchanged since the launching of time, when birds at Galapagos spread their wings in melodious triumph, and no human encroached to perceive this beauty. Bird song and absolute in man's world, since the viral urban sprawl birthed contemporary destruction, disaffecting winged creatures, resilient, that still sing in helpless lament. Galapagosian Lament. Thank you.
Fascinating. Yes.
You
Very, very nice.
appreciate that.
Yeah, feel everybody, when you have a comment to make or whatever, feel free to unmute yourself and say it. You know, and you know, because we want everybody's reactions and so forth. So we've actually made it all the way around once here, and we'll now we can move into the up to 5 minute poems, and we'll have a little bit of discussion after each one. So we're going to keep going in this same order, and there are two other people that may or may not show up, Marissa and Hillary. They both had other obligations, but we're going to try to get on for at least part of the show. So if they get on, we'll get them in the rotation pretty quick. Okay, so we're back around to Mr. Limerick, Duke Beaufort, and I'd like to hear what else you have for us today.
Okay, and I'm from New York. You know, that's the liberal capital of the United States. So anyway, I do a series on politics, and I call them Igor Needs a Bigger Laugh. So this is number 14 and number 15. Freed from its cell in the hive, T. Rumpasaurus comes alive. This monster is back and plans to attack with Project 2025. Okay, here's 15. See, I saw a sign at one of the protests I went to, and it had Trump's face on a candy corn, and it said "leading cause of truth decay."
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So anyway, that inspired me, and I wrote, "See the novel anti-Trump signs. Protester-created designs. Don can't compromise and blurs truth with lies, but we author all the best lines."
That's so true. That the signs that are up at some of these protests are so creative. I love seeing them.
Duke, where do you live?
I live in Westchester County, New York, and there's a demonstration in Mamaroneck every Saturday that I go to. So
That's great. I'm glad you're active.
I have. If I have time, I'll read you a sonnet that I wrote also, and then that should be it for now. It's called. Is that okay, Chuck?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. It's called "Hearts Not Yet Opened." Bullies exude a malevolent force, and victims suffer their mean, hellish toll. What is their ultimate unpleasant goal? Are we their punish for pleasure resource? It's more than their world's an OCD force, where we're just glass marbles that they can roll. They're addicts who relish life as a troll, like unwelcome Vikings from cold lands Norse. These predators think they're on a high horse. They spit out the meat into a waste bowl, without love for those who possess a soul, thus from humanity themselves divorce. When persons with power have a kind heart, acts gentle and sweet might set them apart.
Wow. Very. Yeah. Very good.
Anyhow, I have fun.
Okay. Thank you. Chris, it's your turn.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hi. So I've been writing a lot about my breakup from last year, And then after about 6 months, like that has changed, and it became more of like how my thoughts were on a daily basis. So sometimes I would I'll think about like something, and then I'll write it down later, but my phone is not it's not with me, so and then I forget about it. So this poem is inspired by that, like thoughts that's just like they just disappeared. So the title of the poem is The Poem That Got Away. I had a poem in my head, like clouds, it slowly disappeared, drizzling down, touching the ground. It then reappeared like a rainbow, colored thoughts as it formed. Sleeping ideas can seem to hold, like how days fly by, gone the next morning. It passes through my awakening, as shadows fade in the light of day. I see the remnants of the dark in the dusk, scattered to the morning bright. The poem is gone in the blink of an eye, swiftly stolen by a thief in the night. Waiting for conscientious return, ran away in the breeze of time. Frozen with no visions of the poem, finally I stopped and chose to move on. The chase I declare is over, deciding that moment has departed, just like many unuttered feelings, in the hopes of recognition as they resurface into thin air, in memory of the poem that got away.
Very, very good, Chris. I
Thank you.
figured out one a couple of nights ago, and I enjoyed it then, and I enjoyed it again tonight. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And that's just something that that happens all the time. When I'm always have things. I have these great ideas, and if I don't write it down right then, they're gone forever.
Yes. I remember I even wrote something about how I went back to where I was, because like you know how sometimes like you talk to someone and then you forget what you were thinking, and then you came back to where you were just to remember that thought. And I did that, and then I just wrote it on a poem. So I thought that was exciting too.
Yeah, indeed. and yeah, sometimes that works.
Yeah. I'm really sorry. Like, how do I type messages? I'm so sorry. This is the first time here, but yeah, maybe I try to figure out. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was very
Chris.
nice. That was very, very nice, that poem. And it just shows that as a poet, when you sit down and you go to write something, there's something else that follows. So if this idea is there, it's in your mind. It might not be what you thought it was, but you follow it, and that's exactly what you did. You followed that, and that's such a beautiful creative process. So thank you for sharing that, and that has a life of its own, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you for writing that.
Okay, well, very, very good. I guess it's time for Rex. What you got for us?
Huh? What? Can you hear me? You can't hear me. You can't hear me?
We can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, you're all muted. Okay. Well, here's a average SoCal summer that could have been written by Brian Wilson. It's called The Iceman Cometh. It's a sunny, warm June afternoon in Culver City, California. Kids and adults both listen, as they have for 20 years. That anticipated summer sound, cool, sweet, heat relief. small beeping clown horn, square white and slickered palatero cooler on wheels. People there know Enrique, grew up on his ice cream and frozen fruit treats. Ambrosio Lozano himself, sole supporter of his wife and child, neighborhood fixture and friend. On a hot day to a kid without a quarter, he'd give it away, extending credit. Kids and adults wait on Monday, June 23rd, but after 1:15 p.m., near the corner of Culver and Sepulveda Boulevard, in front of Resurrection Church, his three-wheeled cart stood stranded. Enrique kidnapped by a masked man in a white van. The square, white, lively, colorfully stickered Palatero cart stood discarded, like any pretense of American pride or dignity. Kidnapping terrorist goons, their absence of humanity, sociopathic cowards, destroying lives with no life of their own. A loved and respected, generous, hard-working family man offends these cruel, gibbering, subhuman Republican henchmen, whose racist, rancid internal ugliness compels their nauseating negation of human decency, embracing twisted demonic sadism as their brand. Infantile, anal agents of dense, stunted super zeros, minions of the Inquisition, hideous Nazi scum ravage the land. American Gestapo coming for you now.
Wow. That, that was just amazing, Rex.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Thanks. It's too bad it had to be done.
Yes.
That was really wonderful.
Thanks, Duke.
American Gestapo. Oof.
They're out there now.
Know it, right?
Yeah.
And the guy getting disappeared right in front of you.
Yeah, all over here. And I was reading today, everyone talks about the different men who've been kidnapped in parking lots and just like this guy just off the street. But they don't talk about the women. And apparently as many women have been captured and their fate is, who knows? They're not talking about it. So yeah, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's the artists like you, Rex, that need to keep writing to bring light to this in very unique ways. It's the artists and the creators and the thinkers that are brought down first in a fascist regime, right?
Yeah.
The silence voices. So keep
Right.
writing.
I can't help myself.
Well, that's a good thing.
Marissa, I'm glad to see that you have joined us. And although it normally would be RG's turn, I'm going to let you jump in since you arrived just now. So go ahead.
Hi everyone. It's really nice to see everybody again. Sorry I'm late. I'm actually visiting Bob. I'm running a little late. I'm up in New Jersey visiting with family. So please pardon my appearance. I've been all over the place all day. With that being said, sure, I'll share a poem. This one's actually about family. I'm just going to turn myself off so I can bring my poem up. And this is about early memories of hunting with my father. And this is called The Hunter. An anxious alarm screams on an April morning. It's 4 a.m. and the sky wakes with a weary yawn and wipes the dewdrops from her eyes. Father rolls out of bed into camo where it is safe. A familiar smell of leather, coffee, and cigarettes enters my room. I am awake, but fighting the weight of the blanket, blankly staring into the black space of the ceiling. The smell comes closer, and a strong, steady hand shakes me. It is time for the hunt. Walking in the woods, the wailing birds warn of unwelcome visitors. The golden sunlight, molten beams trickle through the trees. This ancient bonding ritual between us to shed the blood of another living thing. In this cathedral, a cacophony of chirping, leaping, crunching, and gunshots. I have earned my rite of passage. I have proven I can kill in beauty, with the hope of bonding, a dead-eye sight, and gunpowder exhale. Silence in the cathedral. And that is that. Thanks everyone for listening.
Wow.
What-
Very,
Great scripters.
very good.
Thanks everyone.
Uh,
Marissa, do you think this poem is this poem one experience, or was it a combination of several different experiences?
That's a great question. It's kind of like fragmented. It's like different pieces of different mornings. And I guess ultimately the end is kind of like the way that I feel when I read it and when I see it. The ending is kind of like those multiple experiences, but the morning always seemed to be the same. If that makes any sense.
Yes, absolutely. It's so beautiful,
Yeah.
very descriptive, and
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
especially the morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
that's a cool observation, with the morning being the same. And yeah. And when we wake up, they're all kind of the same.
They're all the same, right? Yeah. Except like, when you wake up in the spring at 5 a.m., it's much better than the winter at 5 a.m. to go out and do that. So
Well, the nice thing about living in South Florida, I don't have to worry about the winter too much. But
yeah, right now we're barely surviving, Chuck. It's rough down there.
yeah,
I feel like my shoes are melting on the sidewalk.
yeah, it's been really hot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. And yet we persist.
Indeed, we do. All right, thank you. And
Thank you guys.
okay, let's go back into our where we were. So, RG, it's your turn.
Okay, thanks. Oops, hey, I'm unmuted, right? Trying to remember the few comments I wanted to make. First of all, Chris, there's nothing worse than the poem that got away. You could try to retrace your steps and everything, but you know it was good, but then poof, it's gone. That's why, like you said, always have your phone with you. Always make those notes. And Rex, it's kind of tragic that you talked about the women are not noted as far as ICE is concerned. I guess even women are even second-class citizens when it comes to deportations these days. Kind of tragic.
That's horrible.
And Duke, since you are our resident limericist, I invite you to position Mr. Trump in Nantucket. See what you can do with that. I'm sure that would be profitable.
Can I think of a rhyme?
Just real briefly, I'll repeat my dedication. I want to thank Marissa Rue for inviting me to be here tonight. And from my experience, Marissa writes about celestial bodies and the cosmos and everything. So I've chosen some poems that kind of reflect that type of imagery too. And I'd like to invite John W. and little advertisement, John W. and Marissa to come to Terranano Winery tomorrow night from 4:30 to 7:30, where the weather is changing. It's as far away from South Florida as you can be. I'll be playing some music from 4:30 to 7:30. So, this is a Villanelle, and it's called Past Light. The light from stars takes years for us to see. Polaris light, 320 years across the void of space. Reality assures that none of us alive will see its light that burns today. Such cosmic fears. The light from stars takes years for us to see. The Magi thought the North Star held the key to Bethlehem. Past light, it now appears. Across the void of space, reality. My father watched old movies on TV with actors who'd been dead for many years. The light from stars takes years for us to see. The past is lit by sepia memories that chill the heart and flood the world with tears across the void of space. Reality. When winter bones grow cold, take it from me. The only light we have is past light. Cheers. Across the void of space, reality. The light from space takes years for us to see. Thanks.
Very nice.
Wow.
I really liked the bringing the stars of screen or whatever in associating them with the stars out there. That was very cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love how you craft your words, RG. It's very, very clever and really beautiful.
Thank you, Sheena.
It really flows it's smooth, like she said, and it's a lot to think about.
It
Thank you.
definitely sorry. It was humbling to listen to that. It just reminds you of how relative time is to us, here on earth, and how precious time is with people and memories, and people can be stars in our lives. That was really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. You get it. Thank you.
Thank you, RG. RG,
Really?
have you published that anywhere?
No, that was going to be the title poem of my next collection, but it has since evolved. And actually, the closing lines from the first poem I read are going to be the title of the next collection that I've written. But no, I have not published that one. No. I run a reading series here in South Jersey, and last night we had this formalist poet who just blew us away reading villanelles and sonnets. And I said, well, that one was free verse that you wrote. And she said, no, it was unrhymed blank verse. I'm like, oh my gosh, even even that she disguised as she took the form and disguised it as free verse. She has a book that she gave me, thank God, called Heroes and Villanelles, that alternates villanelles with poems about superheroes. And there's about 20 villanelles in there. God love her. I've maybe written 3 or 4 myself.
Sounds very exotic.
Indeed. Very cool. Okay, John, your turn.
Yeah, I've enjoyed everybody's work so far. There's a good variety here. So yeah, I hope I can just add to the conversation. I want to again thank Marissa for getting me in touch. And I know she likes this poem, so I'm going to read this poem. It's called Like a Yin Yang. You once told me that part of my allure was that you knew we wouldn't last. But after the night we came home kissing across the threshold and I lifted you onto the counter, and as usual, you left before I awoke, but this time it locked your keys in the car. You didn't expect a guy who needed AA to have AAA. We sat on my stoop sipping coffee and laughed about how you thought my solution would involve an old coat hanger, though you were unsure if I owned a coat hanger. And when in 3 months I lost my license, I thought your solution would involve an ultimatum. But instead you offered to drive me down the Blue Ridge Parkway with its 45 miles per hour speed limit and rhododendrons. I joked about how 45 miles per hour should be the national limit and asked you to pull over at almost every scenic overlook along the 469 miles of America's favorite drive. I think it was at Craigie Gardens around milepost 364 that I told you how I grew up on a nursery, made 1,000 rhododendron cuttings a season, that rhodos were first classified as roses that are the national flower of Nepal. You said you couldn't picture me as a farm boy and laughed when I said in a husky voice, that's because I was a nurseryman. I told you there was a free Tibet bumper sticker on my first truck and got heated describing the ongoing atrocities. You told me to breathe and then taught me to breathe. You told me how you attended 6 schools in 5 years, how you don't have a hometown or a middle name, how you love the homeliness of moss, the way it curates space. We conversed lying like a yin-yang on a road-worn Guatemalan blanket and fell asleep in the shade of a Catawba rhododendron as a nectarine sunset juiced the Appalachian Mountains. They're older than Saturn's rings and earthly bone. You stayed long enough to see my court clothes become my work clothes. Thanks.
Ooh, that was full of energy. It reads like a beat poem, you know? It's like that rhythm and that, you know, that strong commentary. I really enjoy that. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
That's just, yeah. I mean, it's exquisite. When I read that, I read it probably 4 or 5 times, and it actually inspired me to write a poem. It got me so charged up. And there's so many great comparisons in there. There's a line about, you know, AA and AAA. I thought that was fantastic. Everything from start to finish was just a trip. I could close my eyes and just be on the journey with you. Gorgeous. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that AA, AAA line too. And all it took was a coat hanger, and she wondered if I was the type of guy that had a coat hanger. You know, that's classic John W. right there.
And we ended up getting married. So there's that, yeah.
All right. Very, very good. Sheena, I think we've come around to.
Okay, we've come around again. So I'm hearing poems that refer to space, that refer to love, that refer to nature, and that brings to mind a poem that I wrote called Passion de Ciel. So this is a French term called sky passion. So it's like the highest love, or like a crazy love, or something that is very strong and powerful. And this is Passion de Ciel. To show you my heart, there are so many ways, some of them wrong, some of them right, with judgment bestowed only by time and tide. Mending stitches dissolve into the flesh, or are pulled out carefully once the heart's rift has sealed shut, but not before I climb inside and make my presence forever known, make it impossible to think that there was ever anyone else there before. The heart wants what it wants. I might be doomed to the sprouted fate of my family tree, its limbs holding the spirit of Anne Boleyn closer to the sun, and my grandfather's mistress, a sapling branch. My dark family secrets are shaded by passion and longing for love, whatever the cost. Our branches twist into double helix, Their fragile and browning leaves lean towards the warmth of the sun, longing for the dew of the l'origine des mondes. In this quenched passion des cieux, some have found true happiness, some true pain. Perhaps doom could be averted if, with a pure heart, I find and climb the thickest, sturdiest branch and lay upon it in peace and equanimity, succumb to the inescapable allure of gravity, saddle sling my legs and arms, a soft, delicate moss flowing as my belly sinks on this welcoming, loving tree arm, my cheek pressed to the scaly bark, my eyelids gently drawn shut, and my knowing mouth turned up in a smile. Can it be possible to follow my own prayer with my own loving truth, with no regard to how I might pair the smooth sheet of space-time? Or might I just be smoothing out a dent that was already there? Pasión de cielo. Thank you for the hearts.
Wow.
That is just, oh my gosh. I have all the feels tonight hearing these poems. You guys are moving me to tears. I think I've heard you read this one before, and I'm so glad you read it again because it is so packed to the gills with imagery and emotion. Like, I remember the last time hearing about the branches twisting into a double helix. That's brilliant. I love that. I think that's just, the imagery is just really beautiful. Really just a beautiful poem, and thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Marissa. I appreciate that. You know, we love all our poems like they're our babies, right? And that one, I like.
I can understand why.
Like there's a special spot for you in the tree of life that you have to kind of find, you know, and follow. It's remarkable.
Right, there's a lot of metaphor in trees, you know, the sturdiness, the network, the age, the literal family tree that that traces our roots. So there's a lot there. Yes, thank you, Duke.
And in the willow, which bends but doesn't break, versus the oak that's so strong but can get knocked right over. Yeah.
Thank you, Chuck.
Well, I'm going to read something. We're coming up on a station break in about 6 minutes, and so I have a couple of things that I'm going to present here. The first, Sheena mentioned that I met her down here in South Florida when she used to live here. Well, she produced an amazing tribute to a poet, a friend named Sherwood Ross. Sherwood was one of the was a regular guest on this radio show. By the way, you may not know this, but I've been doing this radio show every Thursday since February 3, 2011. So I do the poetry on fifth Thursdays, but I have a regular lineup on the first four. Sherwood was a big part of this show when it started, and unfortunately he died a few years ago. And Sheena created an amazing tribute down at the Betsy Hotel. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm going to read a poem by Sherwood Ross. Uh, as you probably know, that there's an anniversary coming up of the atomic bombs being dropped, and I'm going to read a poem called Hiroshima. I am the Reverend Kiyoshi Tanimoto, a graduate of Emory College, Atlanta, pastor of the Methodist Church of Hiroshima. I was in a western suburb when the bomb struck like a sheet of sunlight. Fearing for my wife and family, I ran back into the city where I saw hundreds and hundreds fleeing, every one of them hurt in some way. The eyebrows of some were burned off. Skin hung from their faces and hands. Some were vomiting as they walked. On some naked bodies, the burns had made patterns of the shapes of flowers transferred from their kimonos to human skin. Almost all had their heads bowed, looked straight ahead, were silent, and showed no expression whatsoever. Under many houses, I heard trapped people screaming, crying for help, but there were none to help, and the fire was coming. I came to a young woman holding her dead baby, who pleaded with me to find her husband so he could see the baby one last time. There was nothing I could do but humor her. By accident, I ran into my own wife. Both she and our child were alive and well. For days, I carried water and food to the wounded and the dying. I apologized to them. Forgive me, I said, for not sharing your burden. I am the Reverend Kiyoshi Tanimoto, pastor of the Methodist Church of Hiroshima. I was in a western suburb when the bomb struck, like a sheet of sunlight. That man could write.
He really could.
Wow.
I miss him constantly, Chuck. And that's such a
I know it. Yeah. He, I always looked forward to his columns on my show. And, oh, it's been so long. What's it been? 10 years he's gone now, I think.
2016. Yeah, it's
9. Okay.
Yeah, 20.
Fire.
It was it was 2018. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And that should be read. That should be shared. And it's shocking, right? To hear a graphic description.
Try to share every year. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're about to the station break, so I don't really have time to share anything else. The other one I have is a story that Philip Farruggio recorded because he wasn't able to be part of this, and so I will play that on the other side of the station break. For right now, let me remind all of our listeners that we are streaming live on Revolution Radio. It's a listener-supported station. They do deserve your support. So please do head over to revolution.radio. Show them some love. They keep 2 radio shows going pretty much 24/7. And there's the music for the station break. Talk to you on the other side. Welcome back, everyone, to the New American Dream Radio Show, streaming live on Revolution Radio and on the New American Dream Radio Show channel on YouTube. Thank you all. Thank my guests. Thank you all for being here. My listeners, thank you all for being here to listen. We are doing our best to present something really original and creative that you won't find anywhere else. I'm going to start off this second half of our show with a recording that Phil Farruggio had me make since he wasn't able to be part of our show tonight. And this is actually it's prose rather than a poem, but quite poetic. It's called The Wolf Dog.
The wolf dog. When you're a 5-year-old, you really don't know what's occurring away from your focus. Now, there I was, a little boy from the streets of Brooklyn, New York, USA, now transported to some farm in the country. That meant upstate New York with all kinds of animals flowing by me like in some cartoon show. My father wanted to get us, his wife and 2 young sons, out of the scorched heat of the city for a month. So a relative of his mother, my grandmother, Frederick, had his place that he and his wife of 50 years lived. He had goats, cows, chickens, pigs, and 2 dogs with a barn that looked actually more inviting than his home. Well, I, for one, loved it. After breakfast each morning, I could wander out and enjoy all the farm animals, especially milking the 2 cows. Yet the piece de resistance was the female wolf dog who followed me wherever I went. And she was a wolf dog. She was half wolf. She would let me lay on her back, and she carried me for a bit each day. The irony of this tale is that even Frederick could not get within 2 feet of her before that growl flew out of her. They all laughed at how the wolf dog took to me, and she was definitely half wolf. God, I loved her. So what's the purpose of this tale? Well, it was when, towards the end of our month there, a midsummer upstate thunderstorm hit us, just like that. It was late afternoon when the sky darkened and the rumbles began to overwhelm one's hearing. I had been doing what little boys do, especially in the country, deciding to take a hike deep into the woods by the farm. Within minutes, I was lost and frightened, calling for my mommy, though no one could hear me, except my new girlfriend. While my mother, Frederick, and my older brother were searching all over for me, the wolf dog found me far away from their shouts. All I can remember is how she grabbed onto the side of my little jumpsuit and just pulled me out of the woods. She escorted me right up to the farmhouse and then casually wandered off. The day we were leaving for Brooklyn, I sought her out. She ran up to me and almost knocked me down as she reached to lick my little boy's face. As our car drove off, she stood by the driveway, wondering why I was leaving. I looked out of the rear window and I cried. Lord, I never forgot that wolf dog, knowing she never forgot me. Thank you.
I don't know how many of you have had the blessing to have a love like that from an animal. There's just something special. If only we humans could love like that, we'd all be a lot better off.
There's pure love there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, again, thank you all for being here, being part of the show. We're going to continue in our rotation with basically in the original order with Sheena and Marissa tacked on at the end, since that's the order we all showed up. I think that we'll all have, everyone will have a chance, at least a couple more chances, I think. So without further ado, let's go on to Duke Beaufort. What you got?
Okay, I write about the experience that I have in life. That's what inspires me. So this is called Highs Come with Lows, and this happened because I was at a college reunion recently. Chuck, I went back to my 51st reunion.
All
So,
right.
yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Duke and I both went to Wesleyan University. All right.
So, highs come with lows. This is about my roommate. I found out that anyway, but this will tell you. While weed can help your mood soften, dear roommate, you toked too often. The pot you would smoke on you played a joke as you're at rest in a coffin. So I read about him online. He never reached out to me. Yeah. He was big with telescopes and stuff, and he had built one that was on a trailer. And somebody came to get it from him while he was sick and cried. I heard, sad. Anyway, I have bladder cancer that's in remission, but I go back for a checkup every 6 months, and I had a checkup recently, so I wrote this: what it takes to live long and prosper. The med staff may hear my voice squeak. Where they insert tubes, we won't speak. Since this causes pain, I wish they'd refrain or try going straight, not oblique. that's gonna make it a little tough for guys, but anyway. This one is called Identical Twin Species. Great T-Rumposaurus Venus. Adolf and Don share a genus. With teeny wiener, was Hitler meaner or Trump with his weedy penis? Oh, okay. One more, or maybe a couple more. Here's one. I went to the bank, and this was like after hours, and I opened the door, and somebody had left an Al-Anon sheet on the desk where the ATMs are, and I was reading it, and it's about children of alcoholics and what they go through, and like children of alcoholics often try to be perfect and so on because they don't want to be criticized. This is called Poof and the Pain is Gone. Who takes brain hits diabolic, the child of an alcoholic. With the mind's Botox, pain's now in the box, not flummoxed, the kid could frolic. I hope everybody does have that opportunity who has that issue. This is called Naked Gun. I'll end with this one for now. There once was a man who loved guns. With women, he hit no home runs. He'd whip out his round and shoot it outbound while wishing to target their buns. Okay. Anyhow.
Classic. All right.
I really enjoy the limericks because it can take any complicated subject and inject levity
Yes, indeed.
and a little bit more relief. It's a good medicine. Very good medicine.
Thank you. Yeah, we try. We want to feel good. So I hope it helps. So
Yes.
thank you.
Well, the humor, but there's always a little bit of a zing in your limericks, and that's an important aspect of fun, but a little bit incisive. Chris, you ready?
Yes, I am. Yes. Um, the poem that I'd be reading first, it would be the title is The Ghost of Us. Um, uh, you walked out of the door, a ghost of us walked in. I collect I called your name wondering if you'll answer back in your usual voice. Instead, an eerie silence. A haunted feel of tonight, like tides, the moon pulling my emotions high, creeping in my thoughts, push down memories of us, a ghost from a not so far away past. A frequent vision while I'm wide awake, a daring guest intruding my present. Closing my eyes, they linger, a mischief chasing my inner soul. And then sadness walked in me. As I look at the ghost in front of me, I acknowledge the pain it brings. I am grateful for the smile it gives. I embrace the love that was once there. As the visitor fades into thin air, I say goodbye. I am hopeful if tomorrow they show up. I learn to separate myself. The ghost of us becomes just you. As you walk out the door again and I whisper your name, then I know I am free.
Wow, very, yeah.
So this was inspired by me and my ex, we broke up, and then we still lived in the same space. And the memories of like kind of like knowing like your routine before, and then suddenly it changes. And then you would I would I would hear him move step out of the house, and then I would like my thoughts would just like go places. It's like, where is he going? And it's like, and then, but then I need to like really tame my emotions and like, so I instead, so this was inspired by that. So when he stepped out, and then that's when like I just like everything I wrote into poetry. So yeah.
Well, thank you. That was wonderful, really.
It's a pretty painful, it's a painful experience because I can only imagine that sometimes these thoughts come to you kind of when you don't expect them to, they just happen.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would always say like therapy actually helped, and then I thought like like some of those thoughts they're not real. They're just like fragments. So um so actually my next poem, the title is thought about that. Sorry. The title is Fragments. Fragments, pieces of puzzle in a box, scattered on the surface, grouping them in colors, lining up matching shapes. A fragment of the present ties up to what's to come, linked to events in the past, a fraction of connections. Looking at a bigger picture, a detail that makes up a whole, a shadow of undersight, passed through and forgotten. Wandering a bird's eye view, gliding to a spot, seeking a find, an adventure turned wisdom. From a poet's perspective, a word makes up a line bridges to a chorus, a musical masterpiece of thoughts. I'm a kid at heart, afraid and careful soul, braving this journey, fragments after fragments. Yep.
Yeah. Fragments after fragments.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Cris. Really beautiful.
Keep writing, Cris. You have a big heart.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts.
Yes. Yes. Arts with a heart. I don't know. Rex, your turn.
That's that. Hello. This is called The Answer. Sunday morning, wolf down, peanut butter on a sesame wassa. 4 to 5 for the second day's work today. Highwaymen roaring on the stereo. Big Al on guitar. Knock on the door. Pretty face in the peephole. Hi, how are you? She asks, not interested. I'm getting ready for work, I reply, smelling her evangelicalism. Well, she says, fishing the pamphlet out of her brown purse. People wonder about all the problems in the world, and this has the answer. I quickly shut the door, and on the floor next to the cat's scratching post, I see a small brown problem. Pick it up with the pamphlet. Throw both in the trash. The Lord provides.
Excellent.
That was good. I love that.
Small brown problem.
I think we've all been there.
Well, did you want to share one more, Rex, or should we move on? We might get around
again. What do you think?
Yeah, share another.
Share one.
Yes, please.
Okay. This is called The Video Ended. The video ended. The screen turned on. Before I could turn it off, a bulletin interrupted everything. An open-eyed, small, caterpillar-mustached guy, wackily toupeed, works his jaw and says nothing. I remote control an increase in on-screen volume arrows, still saying nothing. He stops, eyes wider, looks off camera, looks down and sees his microphone in his lap as the picture cuts to a president saying, saber rattling? You people in the press are doing the saber rattling. There's no saber rattling. There's no need for saber rattling, because if there was, he would feel the saber and that would be that. Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. They pound like moths beat a bare bulb. Each get their turn. The economic reporter, the political impact reporter. Then a woman knock-mic'd off camera asks something about going to war for an oil field. His jocular oil executive demeanor melts. His eyes narrow to a squint. He tilts his head. His mouth seems dry. Maybe one of those moths dead on his tongue. He pities the woman. The allies have agreed on this matter, he says reluctantly, his moment spoiled. His eyes catch someone and he brightens. Yes, Bob. But Mr. President, isn't this all just saber rattling? Saber rattling, he intones, a leader again. He drones on, walks away, pointing, smiling, waving, laughing. Joins his wife, his dog, who's always sick and brave. They step inside a copter, fly away to fish, leave the jackals of journalism to tear at his dead words looking for blood.
What a finish.
Oh, amazing. I tell you, the saber rattling people are so much more frightening than the rattle of a rattlesnake.
Now, can you name the president?
Um,
That might be a bad precedent.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
Bush.
I was
That was
stumped.
Bush 1.
okay, I thought it might have been
Who?
very, very powerful, and somehow still it describes the current situation just as well. Rex,
You're on mute.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things about political poems. If you don't mention names, nothing changes, and you can use them year after year.
absolutely, yes. So little ever changes. Thank you, Rex. Okay. RG.
Okay, I'm going to read just one, and I'm not entirely sure this is a poem, but it sure was fun to write. And I read this. I read this in our reading series last night, and the featured poet said, "Do you know the difference between?" Let me put the screen back on here. He said, "Do you know the difference between a prose poem and a flash fiction?" She said, "If a poet writes it, it's a prose poem. If a fiction writer writes it, it's a flash fiction piece." So this straddles those worlds somehow here. Dear neighbor, thanks for the latest missive you nailed to our front door. As Lutherans, we appreciate the gesture. As we've made clear many times before, we understand your concerns. It's just that ours feel weightier, filled with more meat than your hollow, frankly whiny protestations. First, as to your comments regarding my wife's throat singing, it's essential she rehearse as she works toward her AA in Tibetan studies at the community college. Regarding her habit of practicing at 2 a.m., I share your discomfort, but she is a lifelong insomniac. To know her is to love her. About the odor you mentioned, yes, I can see how that might be problematic living downwind as you do. But as the Homeowners Association has no rules against the making of surströmming, a simple process of fermenting herring, I suggest you close your windows on fermenting days. As for the ethnic slur you saw fit to include, while offended, I assure you I am not Swedish, merely a connoisseur of fine fermented fish. Finally, you make reference to lewd and obscene outdoor displays. We are part of a community of performance artists, sir, and I assume you are referring to our staging of tableaux vivants in our backyard. While neither lewd nor obscene, we understand our latest, the nude performance of the Last Supper, might be seen as provocative. We will try to remember to use fig leaves next time. Hopefully that will satisfy any objections to content, both Old and New Testament-wise. We feel we have addressed your concerns at this time. Should others arise, don't hesitate to let us know. Neighbors such as you are rare, and we hope to keep the air between us clear. P.S. As to the delivery method of this epistle, vis-a-vis the arrow, we apologize for the unfortunate situation regarding Buddy's tail. Wrong place, wrong time. But please know our canine friends are resilient, and though our aim may not be true, our hearts most certainly are. Your neighbors.
Ah, delightful.
Neighbor of the year.
Oh yeah.
That was great. I was in here laughing. Wow.
Thanks.
The fig
Oh.
leaves got me.
I know.
The
Really.
fig leaf get everybody. Yeah.
Uh, yes, I wish we could all have our mics live, because I suspect that you might have been drowned out with us with the sound of us laughing.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Thank you.
Well, let's proceed here. John, it's your turn.
So I have next February. I got a collection coming out called "No Lightsabers in the Kitchen." So this is the poem that has that title: "No lightsabers in the kitchen." Birds don't live in nests. Birds nest in nests. I'm on the 12,678th day of the 12,678th day of my life on Earth, and I think this just occurred to me. I'll quickly convince myself I already knew it, but I know I didn't know. Mallards can sleep with half their brain awake, one eye open. Unihemispheric sleep was what the alpine-hatted park ranger called it. I learned this afternoon because my son and I went to the nature center to get out of our nest where we do live and have rules like no pod racing in the hallway, no lightsabers in the kitchen, Jedi sleep in on Saturdays. Sometimes I find myself longing for a secluded branch or tree cavity to fluff out my down feathers beneath my outer feathers, turn my head, tuck in my beak, and fall asleep. When I wake from what could be described as unihemispheric sleep to the pop of the toaster, I pop out of bed to find my son on his step stool, armed with oven mitts, fishing a waffle out of a chrome ravine, humming the Star Wars theme. He shushes me. This is a prize for Mama. But actually, it's good I am here. He needs help with the butter. And as our clamor rises with the chorus of dawn, I know the Empire doesn't stand a chance. And I'll read one more. This is a new poem, and this is actually this is the first form poem I've ever written. And it's a Pantun. I want to love like Gomez Adams. I want to love like Gomez Adams. Yes, that Caramia madness from Morticia, but also the wild joy. Crashing trains with Pugsley raising Fester from the dead again. To smother darkness with so much love it becomes light. Yes, that Caramia madness from Morticia, but also the wild joy, helping Wednesday rewire her electric chair, brewing poisons with Grandmama, to smother the darkness with so much love it becomes light. Even his normie neighbors get invites for cigars and sword fights. Helping Wednesday rewire her electric chair, brewing poisons with Grandmama, that same tenderness for Lurch and Thing, the family joining hands in seance. Even his normie neighbors get invites for cigars and sword fights, to toast the cracks, the curses, and cousin it. That same tenderness for Lurch and Thing, the family joining hands in seance, tucking in hawk-eyed Zelda with plots of revenge while Kit Kat needs the bed, to toast the cracks, the curses, and cousin it, riding the banister, his investments plummeting into an 8-count tango. Crushing trains, lighting up brains, foxtrotting with the dead again. Yes, that Caramia madness from Morticia, but also the wild joy. I want to live like Gomez Adams, to smother darkness with so much love it becomes light. Thanks.
Oh my God.
All the episodes are on YouTube of the old show, you know.
That was
Incredible.
great. The Adams cartoons. I mean, if you look at the original cartoons back in the New Yorker, and then the Addams Family series was just brilliant. That you have captured something there that was just really wonderful.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't usually write form poems, but I was playing around with all those lines, and they just I couldn't it didn't work as free verse, so I was just trying on forms like hats, and that one seemed to fit.
Yeah, it really worked this way. It just flowed. It was great.
Very, very clever. The taking the pop culture references and mixing it up.
And that electric chair. All right. Well, um, Sheena, what you got?
Well, since you brought Sherwood Ross up, I actually wanted to read something by his. He was such a diverse artist and poet. So he wrote poems such as Hiroshima, that was very realistic and terrifying to read and understand, right? But at the same time, he had these other observations of the beauty in the world too. So there were many facets of Sherwood, and he had a wicked sense of humor as well. But I'll read one that comes to mind to connect with a lot I've heard today regarding nature. So this is a little softer side of Sherwood Ross. And this is the Grand Canyon Suite by Sherwood Ross. The Grand Canyon Suite was composed in my day by Ferdy Groffet when time clocked by like mules on the trail. You could hear them bray while the Chinese woodblock made their hooves sound clip-clock, clip-clock over a violin's wail. Look down from the rim, see a ribbon of blue, Colorado River water wearing slowly away, russet limestone canyon walls, lovelier than cathedral walls, exposing the roots of wall-clinging pine trees day by day through winters, summer, and centuries. I am a man of the last millennium, overlooked and carried forward accidentally into the now, where I and my song do not belong. My end is in sight, my life nearly over. Bury my dreams and I in a field of sweet clover. And that was the Grand Canyon Suite by Sherwood Ross.
Beautiful. Yeah,
He does a great job.
he did.
He does a great job describing the music itself, and the bray of the donkey and so on.
Indeed, Duke. And I had never, although the Grand Canyon Suite has a lot of familiar phrasing and verses musically that we hear in pop culture, right? I had never heard the entire Grand Suite in its entirety, and I was inspired to after reading this poem. So I'll drop that information in the chat. So if you all are interested in that, listen to the symphony and think about this poem, and think about Sherwood listening to that poem and creating something kind of in the way you did, John, how you're watching movies, right? Science fiction and old TV shows and that, and creating poetry from that. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
It's great the way that one art can provide the basis for another, and then that moves on to another. It's all connected. We're all connected.
Did Sherwood Ross, did he have any books out or any places we can read more of his poems?
Not yet. But hopefully one day they might all be published as a collection.
Keep us in the loop.
Keep you posted on that.
If you search for him, you can usually find the full text of a few of his poems. And you might find his pastrami song, which is very, very fun.
Right, right. And even in your archives, Chuck, you can hear Sherwood reading some of his poems. Come to think of
Yes,
it.
you can. Yes. Yep. So go to newdream.us and go to the shows, and there's filters that you can put in, and if you look for Sherwood Ross in there, you'll find some of his poems and some of his columns, which are well worth listening to as well.
And I just put in the chat a link to the Hiroshima poem. I found it in the War and Peace Center. And congratulations, John, on your upcoming publication. I'll look forward to seeing that.
Thank you. I'll keep you guys posted.
Please do. Thank you. So I guess we're around to Marissa.
Hey, so I wrote a poem recently. It's untitled. I don't even have a title for it yet. It's pretty short. But it is about grieving a relationship while you're still in it. So I'll pull that up. All right, this is untitled. I've heard gunshots at midnight in the strange furled bones of the forest. Ghosts of noise tracing its ferned fingers along every fault line of bark, as if to be known is to be loved. We rolled around on the thin veil between worlds, tangled in our own ghosts, childlike, with small holes for eyes, sheets now wrapped around our throats. The birds erupt into pixels and vaporize into the blackberry night. Now we hide in the silence of gunmetal grief. Lay with me now in the old dog of the woods. We only need to make it till morning. That's it.
We only need to make it till morning. I don't know if we'll make it all the way around another time, but we're going to give it a try. So, Duke, you can give us a little bit of a goodbye poem or something.
These are all poems that I've written in the past since the last show. So this is called The Price of Apartheid. Some in Israel feel they are quite grand. Only they can hear God's command. They often recite commandments at night, yet kill and steal Palestine's land. Palestinian Piazza includes the West Bank and Gaza. Israel's ethnic purge might let these sites merge at fine hotels like the Plaza.
Wow.
If you have a minute, I only wrote 3 more since this one is. Let me just give you this one: Lessons for Life. What doesn't reflect happy styles when people rely on their wiles? With hearts in our work, we won't have to smirk, but wear an abundance of smiles. I wrote that because I'm thinking that, smiles are really good, but if your heart smiles, boy, is that really, really good. Chuck, you laugh a lot, so I think you understand what I'm talking about.
I was about to say that I've been accused of laughing too much, but I just enjoy life and I enjoy people, and I love to laugh. What the heck? Christopher, you want to give us a little something as we get toward the end?
Okay. Hi again, everybody. So, I think the two poems that I'll be sharing there. So, I I would write poems every day, and these are like kind of like a series. So the first poem is entitled "Peace with Now." I'm trying to be at peace with my present, looking for faults in the past, jumping to conclusions with the future. The uncertainty of today is ruthless. I'm trying to reconcile with yesterday, but tomorrow is too ambiguous. It's too difficult to focus on now. A while ago was unbearable to think of. I'm hoping later would be better. Appreciating the past for its wisdom. There's so much to be thankful for yesterday. A while ago was a great surprise. Pinching myself to bring me back to now. Shaking my head to remain present. I will smile more today. Looking forward to a brighter future. I will write a beautiful poem tomorrow. A nice relaxing night later. Day by day. Being at peace with now. Being just be. So I wrote here, like the line says, I will write a beautiful poem tomorrow. So the next day I wrote a beautiful poem. A beautiful poem. Searching around for inspiration, where and how should I begin? A beautiful poem to express what I feel. The ocean should be a good start, blue skies with cumulus clouds, cotton rocks reflecting on the surface, a sigh of relief with a cheap smile. Strolling by the beach, palm trees dancing with the wind, passers-by chattering, mumbling, harmonizing melodies within me. A bright ray of sunshine penetrating through the roof, spotlight over my head, a calming and beautiful space. What do I write next? I think far away, yet I'm here. I move around in my absence. I draw words in what I imagine. As I come back from the inside, water running westward, my thoughts staying still to this beautiful poem I had in mind. I take a deep breath once again. I close my eyes and fade. I'm taking everything in. What makes a beautiful poem is this. That's it. Thank you.
Indeed, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Rex.
Camera on, microphone ready. Hey, this goes out to RG. I too have had neighbors. This is called Neighbors. These people above me walk around constantly, move furniture, drop dictionaries, whole sets of encyclopedias, walking, walking, walking. Are they on speed? Do they drink too much coffee? Does their work make them angry? Do they hate each other? Why can't they stop walking? Why won't they take off their shoes? Normal sized people hitting the floor, hammer heeled, walking, walking. Their huge, trapped, flea bitten dog pounds the floor, scratching, scratching. Stevie Nicks bleats like a choking sheep. They stop, they stomp, they drop. Hard wood floorboard squeaks. Never ending sonic safaris. Sometimes children visit and run with them, kicking severed human heads. Neighbors.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Rex, we must have lived in the same neighborhood.
I think so.
That was great, Rex. Thank you. Let's move on to RG.
This is a very short poem. I don't think it's a haiku, but it has the haiku form, 575, 3 lines. Writers and other blocks. This virgin page, like the virgins I knew in my youth, wants nothing more than to stay that way. Thanks. Hey, it's been great being here with you all tonight. I appreciate the invitation, and I appreciate hearing all of your wonderful poems. Thanks.
Well, thank you for being here with us. This has been fun. I've enjoyed every one of you. John, your turn.
All right, let me. This one's called "Cleaning Up Chernobyl with Sunflowers." Sunflowers are hyperaccumulators of dangerous metals. They planted fields of them after the meltdown. I'm sure you can picture some hyperaccumulators of coffee cups, salt and pepper packets, ex-wives, stocks and bonds, nuclear arms. Sunflowers collect cesium-137 and strontium-90. Their roots scour the soil, transport these isotopes up elevator stems into leafy offices to be stored in the vaults of their heads. It's hard to smile thinking about a post-apocalyptic world, but today I do, imagining some future human wearing a biohazard spacesuit, now an Earth suit, with a large sunflower stitched on the breast where you'd expect the bloom of a nation. He's genetically laden with my plodding gait, carrying a bucket of seeds and a rake, hoping like all farmers for warm sun and good rain. Thanks.
Very, very good. Yes. Well, we're racing through. I'm going to have to present something at the end, I think. But Marissa, you're next.
Hi. Yes, I have this one's not real, it's not finished, but I figured I'd read it anyway. Another untitled one. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, we can. We can't see you at the moment.
Uh, wait, you can't see me. Well, here I am, but I'm going to disappear again because it's on my phone.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know. I'll just read it. What the hell? Untitled. Years of love, like counting the snowflake days till Christmas morning. We know that Santa is real until some snot-nosed punk blows it all up, and it pummels your heart with shock and grief. And then you realize it was never the person, it was the belief in the feeling. And that's it.
Okay. Then. Indeed. Yes. Uh, it was the belief and the feeling. Yeah. That seemed about right. Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you. It's been delightful hearing everybody and being a part of this. I always look forward to this, so thanks for having it.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of it, and thank you for for finding RG and John and bringing them into this show. It's really made it a very special time. And Christopher, I'm so glad to have met you at Philomena's and been able to add you to the mix here. Rex, you're a regular guest on my show, and I'm glad of that. Duke, I actually got to see you in person and down at Zen Mystery the other day, and then that was really cool. Wonderful connections here. Since we're about at the end here, I'm going to read a poem. I first heard this poem when I was at my Wesleyan reunion a year and a half ago. And John Hickenlooper read this poem when he was in a discussion with the Wesleyan president, Michael Roth. For those of you who don't know, John Hickenlooper is a senator from Colorado and former governor of Colorado. And this poem it's called To Be of Use. It's by Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into work head first without dallying in the shallows and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along. We're not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hand and crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn. I put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The picture cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. I believe that all of us on this show tonight are searching for ways to do the work that is real. And I thank all of you for being part of it. I am truly blessed to be able to have such talented people, talented friends to be part of this show with me, to share your work without fear. And it's just truly a blessing, and I thank all of you.
You rule, Chuck. Thanks for having us all. Thanks for putting it together. You're the heart and soul.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right.
This was great. Thanks. This was great.
Yeah, fun.
Well, good. Thank you. Thank you all. All right.
Take care, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Take care,
Bye.
everyone. Good night. What a wonderful show.